Hello, Karen.
Yes.
Hi, you can turn on your video.
A ver. Hola.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Good, good. We're so happy to have you with us today. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be able to talk about manta rays.
Yay. Okay, so for everyone watching, this is Karen. She is the founder of the Manta Caribbean Project, which is one of the Manta Trust affiliate projects. And she works in where is it? The Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah.
In Yucatan Peninsula, yes.
With the mantas. So she's here to tell us all about the Mexican mantas today. And just before I pass you over to her, I'll tell you about the technical details as always. So this talk will last for around 40 or 45 minutes. Karen's going to tell us about the mantas, and then we will take questions. So we've had great questions in the past. Please keep sending us questions. We love all of the ones we've received so far. And you can send them anytime throughout the talk. So just put them in the Q&A box, which should be on the Zoom toolbar, which will be either at the bottom or the top of your screen. As audience members, you're automatically muted and your video is switched off. So if you do want to interact with us or comment, please just put any comments or questions in that question box. Okay, I'll pass you over to Karen.
Thank you, Flossie. Okay. So let's start. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, wait a sec. There we go. Is that okay?
Right.
Yeah, right? Okay, thank you very much for everyone to come today to listen and to learn about something about manta rays in the Caribbean. We're still learning a lot about these species that are probably the putative species. There, I will explain you more about coloration and the size population, etc. during this small presentation, but I want to start thanking everyone that has been involved with our project from the beginning, and all our supporters and donors and all the manta lovers out there, including, including, I cannot change the, there you go. So we are for impact organization based in Isla Mujeres. The project started in 2013. And well, our goal is to protect manta rays and devil rays and get the community involved in all of these projects, conservation project, education and science, of course, because it's essential in order to provide tools for future management purposes. This is a slide that I really would like to put many more people, but there is no more spaces, you can see. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been involved, all our Manta family, which includes all the scientists, conservationists, activists, fishermen, tour operators, our amazing volunteers that I'm sure there's some of our volunteers listening right now. So I say hi to all of them. And thanks for your impactful actions and for your impactful support to our project, because without all the people that has been involved, this project hasn't been, it wouldn't be able to keep going, right? So thank you so much to everyone. So where are we located? Many people ask like, oh, the mantas are located in different regions of Mexico. Mexico is a very big country. Where I am located, it's a little island that is called Isla Mujeres, Women Island, for the one that doesn't speak Spanish. Yucatan's Peninsula are 3 states of Mexico, and it's Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo state. So where we are located is Quintana Roo state. Is this little island that you can see on the right. It's a beautiful area where 90% of the economy relies on tourism. Unfortunately, with the situation at the moment, everywhere it has been affected. So our region as well, but let's see it in a positive way. So a good recovery for our ecosystems, and all the probably animals are feeding and enjoying and having fun in the water. So that's super important as well, to give them a break and to to recognize the importance of this megafauna in every region of the world. So this region is very famous, more than Mantas. Probably you have heard about this area because of our gentle giants, the whale sharks. Whale sharks feed in this area seasonally from May until September. Is the ecotourism going, and many people get involved on this. This is a shot that we got last summer from Super Dr. Annie Morey, which is in charge of the drone footage. And well, this region is very famous because of the big concentrations of whale sharks, one of the biggest ones in the world. But many people didn't know, or a few information it's available for manta rays of the Caribbean. So I wanted to show you another video where you can see the species that we have here. We have devil rays as well. So this one is the Caribbean manta ray, and then along with her we have here the the West Atlantic pygmy devil ray, which Hypostoma for the scientists out there. This species can get together if there is for feeding purposes, like as you can see here in this amazing video from last year. We were in nearby one of the islands where we normally work, so you can see how amazing it is to see these species like congregating for feeding and just enjoying the ecosystem. And we are probably enjoying more than them because we're watching them, and it's very difficult to encounter both of the species within the same video and the same footage and the same moment, right? So this footage is super special. We were in the water with Dr. Guy Stevens, Dr. Morey, and Bex Carter that visited us last year as well. So here you can see how they interact, and they interact basically just because they're feeding. Okay, so most of the time we can find during our vessel time. Normally we are working within protected area. So there is a lot of questions about the third subspecies of manta rays. I would like to talk about a little bit from my perspective, how does it work? Because the only species that I normally watch were these ones, right? So I knew about the classification of the two different species of reef manta and oceanic manta, but for me, these ones were oceanic mantas, right? And when I started this project, it was in 2013. I saw, manta rays and amazing. And well, for me, these ones were part like the oceanic ones, right? Until I realized that actually not, right? So how did I start to learn about this population? Is because I went to the Pacific to see a oceanic manta, and it's when I realized, okay, this is a different species, because this doesn't look, it looks like similar from our region, but it's not exactly the same. So I will explain you later about it, but just to give you some background about how did I start to notice this difference, or how somebody told me about the differences, because for me it was just oceanic manta ray. Thanks to Dr. Josh Stewart, I was able to go and train myself in the Pacific, in the Proyecto Pacific in Yelapa, in Bahia Banderas, in Jalisco State of Mexico, where they have a research project as well with oceanic manta rays. So then is when I realized, okay, this is much more bigger, the coloration is different, and their behavior as well. So then I was super honored, and Dr. Guy Stevens gave me the opportunity to go and visit the Maldives in 3 years ago. So then I watched again and the reef manta ray. So for me, okay, this is different. It's difficult for me to try to understand what's happening with the coloration, and then the marks and everything. So it's still being like I have to get my guide with me all the time, because sometimes it's still confusing to understand what are the colorations, because we're still studying this population. Okay, so this is the good thing about our mantas in this region. They're still curious as in every place. in the world. This is one of the areas where we work, which is it's called Isla Contoy. It's a national park. I have to say, all of the work that we do it under the permits of research permits with CONAMP. And look at this manta watching, curious, like, okay, who you are, okay, checking out, okay, bye. So for me and for our team, it's like this is like a field trip day. Normally we go out in the boat. One of the biggest challenges that we have is that the study area, it's massive. Okay, so as you can see, all of this coloration, maybe you understand if you haven't been in the area, but we cover 4 different marine protected areas for manta research. And of course, our boat, it cannot cover in a day the whole study area, right? So the importance of working in marine protected areas is like we can have an approach of what the use of this source can be in terms of like economic source for manta rays, in terms of tourism, and how can activities within the marine protected areas are affecting or not mobulid species, where do they go, where do they move, but still our efforts are not enough, right? We will be doing this forever if I can, right? But definitely one of the most important support that we had for the last years have been the fishermen support collaboration and local tour operators that submit their information to us. And I live in the island, so it's easier to catch up with them and to learn about what they see when they see it and everything. And then this can give us further information about their movements and what they do and where they go, etc. So here we have one of the methods that we use to learn more about the manta rays. It's like other projects from the Manta Trust. We follow the same methodology and the protocols of collecting the data, which is each of the mantas have their own spot. The Caribbean mantas have the same spot like everyone else, like, you know, like under the belly, and they have the spots. But a difference between the reef mantas and the oceanic mantas, the Caribbean mantas have the patches and the spot patterns like oceanic, okay? What it changed most of the time is the dorsal part coloration, right? So at the moment we have 491 individuals registered in our database. And the sex radius, you can see, I put it in this slide, is 40% female and 43% males, with the 70% unknown. So that means that maybe the picture wasn't good enough that we couldn't collect the data. So we are not sure if the picture is it's good enough to collect it. So we just put it in another folder. So then in the future, maybe we will be able to catalog this individual, which has happened in the past. Okay, so here all of these pictures are from the Caribbean mantas. As you can see on the top, we have the coloration. It seems like a reef manta, but then you can see under, and then you can see like the coloration of birostris, right? So like the oceanic. So this is what it's confusing, or was confusing at one point when I was talking at the beginning with some scientists, some mobulid scientists, like, well, this looks like this coloration, but they were like, no, maybe it is not like that. I'm like, well, this is the way I see it. So it's complicated, it's still complicated, because these are, we not only study the Caribbean manta rays in our Mexican region, we also extend our research in other Caribbean countries, right? So we have some submitters and our other dive centers that are super keen to help, and they've been so amazing with everyone to provide their information, right? So in the south, for example, I will show you a video in a second about how the coloration changed. We also have sightings from other parts of the Mexican Caribbean, very south, which for mantas can be easy to go and down. I mean, to go and come back is not a thing, but for us, of course, is trying to understand what they're doing, where they're going, when they're doing it. Okay, so we have manta sightings in Veracruz. I mean, the population is all around, and well, we're trying to understand more about it. And every picture, in our case, every picture of the dorsal and the underpart, it helps, because we are not sure what are these species yet, so we're trying to understand. So every little detail helps to understand this population. So also we have the melanistic or the black mantas. Okay, so we have around like maybe in our database around 60 or 70 mantas, if I'm not wrong, that are black mantas. Okay, so in our population are very few ones. If we think about the 500 more or less or more mantas in the region, we have more or less 60 black manta, so they're special. And here on your left and your right, you can see another manta from the Caribbean. It's not from Mexico. One of them is from Cuba. We have some submitters from Cuba that they are super amazing, that they've been collecting data. They submitted to us, and then, well, we just search it until we analyze the whole thing. And then you can see the other one on the left down. This one, it's from Curacao. So there is a difference of absolutely, it's clear there is a difference with these mantas and the other one described. So this one, I want you to check it out. This one, it's a very small manta, and it's very curious, but the coloration also, for us, I mean, there is no spot pattern there, so we cannot, there is just a little like coloration there, but look, she's checking out the diver, interacts, and she's just curious. Like, he's very curious, as most of the juvenile mantas. I just want to finish the video because she gets very, very curious, and you can see how they really interact, you know, like if you have ever dived with mantas, you know how they just interact with this. The way they look at you is just impressive, right? So this video I just wanted to show you because it might be interesting for you to compare the coloration patterns. Okay, most of our population are chevron mantas, chevron and melanistic, and the other one is leucistic. We also have one of the most interesting behaviors that manta rays have in this region are the breaching. I didn't know that was a very a good thing, or it was very common in our region, until I visit other projects and I realized that they really didn't have a lot of breachings. And that's something, okay, we have a lot of breachings, like breachings all the time, and volunteers that have been, they can tell about it, because it's true. Like, I didn't know that was not very common. Right here in one day, I think it was 2017, we had like 180 breachings in the same day during the field trip. It was crazy. So our volunteers are so amazing. We have a very good team that they're specialized. Some people are writing notes, and the other one taking a look, taking the video. So it's a whole event. So this one is my favorite breaching video. I mean, I will play it forever because I think this is absolutely amazing. To capture this video, it's just insane. It's crazy. I really like it. So this one is from a submitter that he was a tourist from Cozumel Island that went all the way to Cancun to swim with the whale sharks, and he was so lucky to encounter this amazing manta ray breaching. Look at this. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So many people question, like, why do they breach? Well, the most accepted theories are because they remove parasites, other ones communication, just for fun or for courtship behavior. The real answer is that we don't know, and in our region, I will say, I don't know, right? It could be because of food availability. I mean, it could be the weather. It can be many stuff, many factors that can be influencing this behavior. We hopefully keep collecting data, and then with time, a couple of years, maybe we will be able to answer these questions. And here on the right is an image from one of our captains that works in the tourism industry, and he shared it with us, and it's amazing. Okay, here I put another one because, as I told you, for us it's very common to see mantas breaching. This is one of our field trips by Bettina, one of our volunteers last year, and here was Andrieli, who was visiting 2 years ago. Slow motion, I think. There we go. Yeah. So breaching is something that we see very often in this region. Why? As I told you, we don't know. So we will keep working. What we do know about the Caribbean manta rays is like they have to wing, the pectoral fin to pectoral fin size is normally 5 meters, the average 3 to 4 meters, the weight up to at 1 ton. Okay, all of this information, it's assumed it's collected by it's described in the field guides of devil and manta rays that it was written by Dr. Giuseppe, Daniel Fernando, and Dr. Guy Stevens. So I will recommend you to take a look not only from Caribbean manta rays, but all of the mobulid rays are very well described there with the general characteristics. So the distribution for the Caribbean manta rays, it says it could be Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, and its range possible extending further throughout the Atlantic Ocean. We just assume that the reproduction and age of maturity is similar either reef or oceanic manta rays, as until further information. So this is one of our campaigns that is super helpful because this is a way a lot of the local tour operators can support our project by sending their pictures. I will talk about a little bit more later about what it's about this, because in our region it's not allowed to free dive because we are working in regions where ecotourism is happening. And so with our permit of research, we are able to do this because, well, we have the permit, but we don't want to encourage bad practices in the region because collecting the data. But manta rays feed a lot during the somersault, right? So it's easy to collect the ID by when they're feeding. We have a lot of surface feeding, somersault feeding, and what other one? And side-up feeding. So one of the other instruments that we use to understand more about the manta ray and devil ray conditions, where they are, if they are there, how the conditions are, we are using a CTD which helps us to understand, which measures conductivity, temperature, and depth. So we have one person that helped us, Santi from Baja. He helped us with this, but we still undertaking this research. We also have the drone footage. The drone footage is very interesting. It's I mean, during the last years, we have been developing what we think it will help to understand more about this population, right? So as many people know, research on field, it's very expensive. And this area where we work between 10, 15, and even more miles offshore, okay? So it can be very expensive. So little by little, we have been building our project with grants and with donors and everyone that has been super amazing and supporting this project in order to understand more about these mantas. One of the research that we do is the drone measurement. So what we have is we have a PVC tube. This PVC tube, as you can see, Carla on the right, Carla was in Mexico last year. So what we're trying to understand is like, or have an approximation. Oh, I think it stopped. Well, what we're trying to do is to have in the same image the PVC. There we go. I think it's going now. I hope you can see it. If not, you can always check out our social media. We have one of these videos there. So what we're trying to do is to have the same image of the manta. Always the drone is at the same height, that let's say 10 meters, and then this PVC have 1 meter long, right? So then you can see. So that's the way we can more or less have an idea how big these mantas are. It's not exact. It's not exact because also the movement of the wings, it can alter the size measurement, but as well the length of the drone. Okay, so it depends on, we have to consider a couple of factors to have this research effectively going. Okay, another method that we're doing to find mantas, it's this is an amazing research, one of the most exciting research that it's ongoing. Well, not ongoing now because we have COVID times, but this was thanks to the Manta Trust and Carl Booker, which they support this project. So what we're doing, we are going by little plane to look for mantas. So as I told you, we work with the 4 marine protected areas. They're so big, so big. Okay, so we need to cover as much as we can. So in the boat, let's say we are 6 hours collecting our IDs and everything. In the airplane or this little plane, we can go almost 400 kilometers around. So this is gonna be an amazing contribution to our research to understand where the mantas are going, what they're doing, when they're doing. Oh, so I just put these 2 videos so you can see the difference on the conditions, right? So far we have done 3 flights. So these flights are being in collaboration. We have invited the government so they can come and see what we're doing, and also we are planning to bring some of the tour operators and fishermen from the island so they can see the beauty of nature of their surroundings, so they are more motivated to protect this region. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to do. Okay, another thing that we do is plankton collection. This is super important to understand what the mantas are eating, when they're eating, where is food availability. In comparison with the whale sharks, well, this is fish eggs, as you can see, and fish eggs are like everywhere in the summer, right? So that's why the whale sharks are here. Manta rays can be around, but not necessarily eating that, right? So what we're trying to do is understand what their mantas are feeding off. So we do plankton samples, and those activities are carried out every time that we go out on the field. So another detail that we have seen during our research is that we have noticed that manta rays have some natural and anthropogenic damages, right? So this is with time that has led us to create other parallel programs with our research, not only the research of the mantas, but what about other activities? So 13% of our population, of the population in the Caribbean they have, some of them have cephalic amputations, which are the lobes that you can see where the mantas used to direct their food into their mouths. Fishing lines, and other, these kind of are the most common ones. So we were thinking like, okay, we can register this problem. So what we're gonna do about it? Okay, so we have now this new collaboration with Triple GI from last year. So this is addressing the ghost fishing. And many people don't even know about what it's ghost fishing. Many people think that it's illegal nets or something. So this first year, we present this proposal in FAO in Panama last year in collaboration, of course, with the Global Ghost Initiative. So this is a long-term initiative we're trying to do with everyone interested. But the first year, it's It's all about to know the perspective. This is a video that was filmed also by one of the tour operators, my friend Claire, and the captain. So we just did some edits, but you can see how the Manta has this line. What we are trying to understand is how this affect this manta population. As you know, manta rays are very vulnerable species, and even just with one manta ray out of the ocean, it can really affect populations. So this is a captain that was helping the manta, and you can see how mantas, and this is not probably the first time that you have seen me, how they slow down. They're swimming a little bit to receive some help, and it's just unbelievable. Luckily, this captain was able to remove completely this line. So what we're trying to do for the whole year, well, not because now the COVID times, but we are planning to go back to that project. It's to understand what's happening. But first, before we start a campaign, we're going to understand what's the perspective from fishermen and from tour operators about this program, about the ghost fishing. Okay, so we're going to understand what's happening. We're carrying out at the moment surveys, and we're planning to do it for the rest of the year, and then eventually second year we're gonna develop more strategies in order to address this situation. Another program that we have along with the Manta research is we are part of the 5 Gyres program. We collect microplastics. By the way, our microplastic reports from 2019 within marine protected areas are published, so you can go in our website and take a look at that. We're still working on methodology because this is only from the surface, and there is a lot of questions that we still have about it, but it's important in order to understand more about the threats for manta rays. Another strategy that we have is community training. We provide training for everyone, like government, tour operators, fishermen, schools, everyone that is interested. We provide it for free. This is something that it's super interesting for me, and it's crucial in order to reach conservation goals for long term. At the end, they're like part of the manta family. I don't know any of them that don't like mantas, right? And even if they don't like them a lot, they still contributed enormously. Probably this is something the new generations of captains and fishermen, they can see an opportunity with mantas as well, instead of killing them or something. It's a great opportunity through education to provide this information to them. So also with them, we can collect a lot of information that we cannot collect by ourselves, right? So they are our guardians of the mantas. They are the eyes from us in the ocean when we are not around, because we don't go out in the season every day. We try to spread out all the field trips and all the surveys and everything, but they are over there all the time. We work in different locations in Holbox, in An Isla Mujeres. We're planning to extend to other regions this year. But the important thing about this is like how this contribution can support a research program and also can help us to save money, but at the same time it's just to learn about perspective and learn about all of these people experiences that they are in the water all the time. So they have so much information, and we learn so much from them. So I always call them the guardians of the mantas, because they are. Another strategy that we have creating collaboration with Manta Trust, of course, is they create the code of conducts, but we implement it in our region. This is with the goal of integrating this code of conducts into the federal and into the regional management program, okay? Because we have seen a lot of interactions with mantas, with the tourism, tour operators, everyone, right? So why not to provide these tools in order to prevent accidents with the animals, but also to respect them while we're doing any kind of interaction. So this is for the whale sharks, and many people are like, oh, there is so many rules for whale sharks. In our region, it's a massive tourism, right? So we need to to follow these protocols in order to make it the more sustainable as possible, right? So I will ask you to be conscious and support our community and being as responsible tourists by following the rules to enjoy this encounter. And it could be with the whale shark and as well with the manta rays, right? This one was adapted for the Mexican Caribbean region. It has been adopted by the natural protected areas, and that's something, one of the biggest accomplishment that so far has been going on in our region, because before it didn't exist, and now we're trying to implement it and to make it happen in the action part. But always the policy and all of the management strategy are super important, because that's the way we can use this as a tool to provide all of these code of conducts to the rest of the community, right? So you can check out these code of conducts in swimwithmantas.org, made from the Manta Trust. We just add, of course, some of the logos because it's adopted by the government and the natural protected areas, and because it's not allowed for free diving because of the amount of boats that can be in the region. That's why we modified this version for the Caribbean, where you can see and enjoy the manta from nearby the surface. So another activity we do is a lot of education with the local communities. We do raffles, we do all the environmental festivals. We are part of that. We collaborate with everyone that invite us to festivals, and we get involved. We organize as well in order to the future generations get involved in the project as manta lovers, as guardian of the mantas, or future researchers or marine biologists, or whatever they want to collaborate for the protection of the ocean. So this is super important. Also, we have a volunteer program. So this volunteers program is annually. It's normally open from June until September. Due to the COVID, we have to cancel operation at this point, but we're hoping that we're going to start with the volunteers program next year. So let's see. Our volunteers program details are in our website, so you can check it out. And any question, you always can contact me through my email or through Instagram, or better through email. Well, I hope that you enjoy it and you like it. And I don't know, let's see if there are any questions.
Hello. Thank you very much, Karen. That was really interesting.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, we've had some good questions so far. So we have one from Marine. I don't know if that's the name, but Marine. And they wanted a bit more clarity on the potential third species. So they have said Mexican mantas seem to have the back of a reef manta and the belly of an oceanic. Is it possible that the oceanic mantas reproduce with the reef mantas, even though they're two separate species?
Well, there are different theories, and one of the most accepted one is like maybe an oceanic manta, or was looking for foreigner areas where the food was available. So at one point they, the result of evolution, then they mix. I mean, I really cannot answer that because we don't even know, right? So that's the problem with our identification, as I explained at the beginning, because for me it looked like, it's an oceanic, but then I met the other two and I'm like, what's happening, right? So it's a mix, and it's not the pattern it's not the same pattern all the time. So that's the problem. Like, we cannot say this is a dorsal from a reef and this is a dorsal from a oceanic, right? So there's still, we have a lot of questions.
So are there genetic studies underway to look into this?
Yes, exactly. So one of the most, the best way of knowing this, it can be by genetics. So some samples have been taken, and actually they are under analysis. So wait for future publication coming.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. Ariana would like to know if manta rays are fished in Mexico.
Yes, it depends on the area. I mean, I forgot to add this slide. I'm sorry. They are protected under the NOM 059, which is a full protection from mobulid rays. Actually, since last year, thanks to the taxonomic work that Dr. Ramon Bonfil delivered to government was we were able to protect fully manta rays. So they are under a special protection. It's not allowed to fish them, but it depends on the region. Mexico has at least 3 different regions that I know that they're mantas and they're devil rays. So in our region, I have I have some reports of landings of mantas. But and also in the Pacific, I think it's more common. But it's illegal. There is a process to report this illegal fishing. There is an organism in Mexico where they're in charge of that. But also there is a lot of educational work to do and collaboration with the people from the ocean.
Yeah, definitely. Great to hear they're protected in your area, though.
Yes.
Okay, and what is your favorite experience with a manta, Karen? What's your most memorable experience, if you can pick one?
All of them. I mean, every time I'm with a manta, I'm super over happy. Like I cannot pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, there's so many good times with the mantas.
Yes, but I would have to say that the size of an oceanic impressed me. When I was in the Josh Store project in Mexico, in the Pacific part of Mexico, I was so impressed. I was like, oh my God, they're so big, right? And we don't have sizes like that in the Caribbean.
How big were the ones you saw there?
I think was almost 7 meters.
Really?
Yes, it was huge.
Meters, I think.
They were taking some biopsies, and I don't know if you have noticed, but you have seen it in videos, but sometimes oceanic make this movement, like they're just like doing the cha-cha-cha movement. I caught. So that I was like, oh my God, they're so big. And
wow.
yeah, amazing.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. Okay, Best Spot Azores Dive Centre. Thank you for tuning in again. They are wondering, they've asked about using airplanes as a big research investment. How much is the local government involved in supporting this project?
And then supporting this project, unfortunately, in our country, the sources available in economic terms for natural protected areas were cut down half last year, right? So basically we have created strong collaborations with the government in our region to create and process, to go together for a better future for the oceans. And it's not only us. There is a big collaboration with other nonprofits and other environmental projects in our region, which is amazing because there are so many ecosystems in our region that many people don't know. And one of the most affected, let's say, industry is the fisheries, because many people, 90% of the people that come, it's like visitors, but they don't know what they're eating, they don't pick in the right and sustainable choices. So this is something that we like to encourage by a group. As a group, some people are in charge of manta ray research, some people are in charge of the reef research, the aquifer in the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's a mix of everything, and this is the way I think conservation and science can work together in collaboration with the government, because without the government we cannot take steps, like wider steps forward conservation for mantas. And this is something that it has been happening for a couple of years, and it's been amazing. At least in our region, they have been super supportive.
Okay, great. Good to hear that.
Yes.
We have one from Caitlin. She's wondering if you see any mantas with, or many mantas with predatory induced injuries.
Actually, from the 13% that I said about the anthropogenic and natural damages, I would say that half of them, they have some bite kisses, which are the bite, the shark bites. This region where we are located, it's very rich with a lot of food for other like bigger predators. So sharks used to be more common to find, not anymore. But yes, I have seen like big bites from sharks.
And do you have any idea what types of sharks they are?
I think they're bull sharks. Bull sharks in the region, but that's more like in Gulf of Mexico region is where the bull sharks are. There is a place where they go the females, and it's very famous for bull shark diving and etc. But not there. It's more like in the Gulf of Mexico area.
Okay, cool. Thank you. We wanted to know also, somebody's asking about what other species of mobulas you see in the waters that you survey.
Yeah, okay. We have only the devil ray, the Hypostoma. That's it. The only two ones that we have recorded in our region. It's only the Caribbean Manta ray, and the devil ray, the West Atlantic pygmy devil ray, which is a Hypostoma. The small ones that I show in the video.
Just the two of them. And did those two ever interact when you saw them together? Would they?
No, not really. They're just feeding. They're just actually just feeding there, and they're just like together because the food is there. We were so lucky that they like all of them were like together, and we have such an amazing drone footage that I didn't add, but you can see mantas feeding, doing the somersault, plus the devil rays just going around. It was incredible.
Yeah, the video you played was amazing, and I've seen
Annie was the one that was doing the whole thing.
Yeah, guys' photos from that time were so cool as well.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We have one from Marianne. She's asking if you ever see any other interesting animals when you're working in the field.
Well, for me, even a small fish is interesting. I love everything that is related with the ocean. So we are doing, for example, now a new analysis of what species of remoras are attached or fish are going with the mantas, because most of the time they have their friends, well, not really friends, but they are around. So we're trying to understand what species of remoras, for example, are attached to mantas. We can see sometimes marlins, and this is a region very famous for sailfish. Sailfish are incredible. One day, I think I saw like a 40 sailfish at the same time. It was insane. And then manta somewhere there, and then whale shark somewhere there. It's insane. It's really amazing, and that's something that creates awareness with the locals, because they depend on these natural resources, right? So that creates a sense of belonging in some way or another to create protection for these species. So the reef as well, the reef is super important there, provides so many services, and is the second largest barrier reef that is shared with 4 countries in the Caribbean. So this region is very rich, and many people don't really know about that, but it's very rich in biodiversity.
Great. The tourists that you get for the whale shark tours, are they mostly locals or international tourists?
They're international tourists. Most of the people come because advertisements all around the world, it's very famous. Sometimes you can see 2 whale sharks 10, but sometimes you can see over 100, like over 100. It's like, what? Like sometimes they think there is even an image from Simon Pierce or somebody that they couldn't get in the whole thing because they're feeding all the time, right? So it's impressive. This area is magnificent. And for example, with the aerial surveys, first flight we were able to see whale sharks from the plane. So this can provide also information for the government. We're not only thinking about mantas. All the data we collect, we share it with the organizations that might be interested to learn about fisheries movement, what economic activity is going with this. We can register that. Even with Ramon, with the sawfish research that he has, if we see something, we always share what we can in order to, to make it a collaborative project.
That's great. Sounds like such a biodiverse, amazing place to be.
Oh, it's paradise.
Okay, we have one actually about the season. So Valentina has asked if you know if mantas are in your region only in summer, or are they winter residents as well?
We have some records for mantas through different months, not only in summer. In summer can be congregated because of food availability. As you know, these animals need to feed in big amounts because they spend a lot of energy doing whatever they're doing, if they're diving down, if they're pregnant, if they're whatever they're doing, right? So we can see them more in groups during summer for feeding purposes, is what we think. But there are reports of mantas all year round. But let's wait for Dr. Anis Murray talk, because she's gonna talk about behavior, right? So this can be something that can create like answer that question regarding like if mantas are together or not, of we can see one manta or 100 mantas, right?
Yeah, so Annie's talking on Monday at 3 p.m. About the kind of feeding strategies and social life of manta rays. So that's a really exciting one coming up. Okay, we've got a few more questions if you can manage them.
Of course.
Perfect. We have one from Pamela. Pamela's asking, with COVID-19's impact on the environment, do you expect any changes to the mantas?
I think I already received some reports they're feeding around. I'm so happy for them. I'm very happy that animals are enjoying their time there. And I just think this is an opportunity for humans more than for animals to understand the importance of coexistence with the environment.
Yeah, definitely, me too. It's nice to think of them having a break.
I'm happy for the animals, but in the other hand, I'm very concerned about our community, because our area depends 90% of tourism. So it's challenging times, but hopefully everything will pass soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, another one from Harrison. Hi, Harrison. He's been on a few of the webinars, and he is asking if you see a lot of baby mantas in the area.
No, we haven't seen any baby manta.
Hey.
No baby mantas. We have seen pregnancies, right? That's that we can see. We have seen mantas pregnant, but the region where we go for research, it's like around 30 to 40 meters deep, and we haven't explored that area with diving, let's say. So basically, we are trying to understand the whole scene in general, right? So it's gonna take some years, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like you've made a really good start though, and now you have the aerial surveys.
Yes, but it's because of the super team. I mean, it's not possible by yourself. It's like I mean, I know the names of everybody that has been involved in the project, but there is not enough space for the image to put a picture of everyone.
I'm sure they know that you're grateful. Okay, we have one from Alan. Alan's asking if you have a favorite manta ray that you've seen more than once.
Yes, there is one that I really like. She still have a number, because normally we have we put the name to mantas, but there is one that has a heart shape. I think in the Maldives as well, there is one with the heart shape. That's my favorite, I think. I don't remember his number. I used to remember more, but now my brain it's not catching the numbers. And tuxedo, I really like that one. It's a melanistic one, and thanks to Laura Corp, which is a submitter, she's lovely, and through a contest, the tuxedo one, and it's the black mantas. Black mantas are my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Tuxedo.
Okay, last question. What would be your favorite book about the ocean or the natural world that you could recommend to anybody who wants to read a bit more during this crazy time?
I have two recommendations. One would be my favorite book probably in the last 5 years. It's Climate Casino from William Nordhaus, which was a Nobel Prize recipient in 2018, and he talks about the climate change and economics. So it's super important, and I think his approach is amazing. That's my last 5 years favorite book. And one more, I will say, Christian Sardet illustrated Plankton, the driftings of wonders of the drifting. I think I don't remember. Yeah, but it's an illustrated book. It's beautiful, and people that like plankton will learn a lot through that, because it's very beautiful, the images and the color, those two. So Plankton from Christian Sardet, and William Nordhaus Climate Casino.
Okay, perfect. I think I've seen the plankton one. It's really beautiful, but I also can't remember the name right this
Yeah.
Hey, I think we'll wrap it up there. So thank you so much for joining us, Karen. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you, Flossie. Hope to see you soon in the Caribbean.
Yes, I hope so. I hope we can all get back out to the water soon.
Oh, at least somewhere.
Yes, anywhere. On our back gardens.
Thank you so much.
So thanks to everyone for watching. As always, it was great to have your questions and comments. And thank you to Karen for answering those so well. We have a talk coming up on Monday by Dr. Annie Murray. She did her PhD on Manta behavior and Manta social life, really. So she is going to be talking about that at 3 p.m. BST on Monday. So I'm really excited for that one. As always, you can see our webinars and find out lots more information about mantas on our website and on our social media pages at Manta Trust. And if you want to help support us, we have launched an emergency GoFundMe campaign to help affiliate projects like Karen's during this time that rely a lot on support from volunteers and tourism that just isn't possible at the moment. So you can find the link to donate on our webinars page of our website. So that's mantatrust.org/webinars. And any money raised will go towards helping maintain manta research and conservation throughout this difficult time. Okay, so thanks again, everyone, and hopefully see some of you on Monday. And thanks, Karen.
Adios.
Bye.